So let's save. Wow, super. So here you can see that this case is created, and you can see here that case number is matching, and the same case number we just now we created. So it's working fine. So hello friends, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all of you. And today I'm very excited that I'm going to demo that how to integrate from our Salesforce to our WhatsApp, and you can see here. So if you see here that we require that Salesforce. So this is the developer ID app, and that Twilio application we have. It's a third party application, and this is the work as a mediator, and that we have WhatsApp as well. So let's start. First of all, we have some steps, so we have to follow, and that starting step, it's very easy steps. So if you see here, I have already these steps, and that first step we need to set up that Twilio application. And if you see here, first of all we can go that Twilio URL here, and let's paste here, and that we can see this kind of user interface. And if you see here that start for free, so we can start here, and that we can give that required information, and once you finish this information, then we can, so once we finish this fields, so you can see here that Twilio console. After registration, this Twilio application, and so what we required here, so while setting up this Twilio application, so we will get that this WhatsApp. Here you can see WhatsApp, and this is the number, the Twilio number itself. And apart from that, if you see here, this is the sandbox name that I allow, and that just join, and just you can send. So while setup, it's asking, and just you can that enter, that you can press that enter. And so if you see here, so if you see here developer, and click developer, or you can come to that account dashboard, and you click here account dashboard here. So and you can see here that account SID and auth token. So basically that account SID is the username, and auth token is the password. Okay. So while integrating, we required this information. So that's why I'm highlighting this username and password. So we can consider as. So let's set up that in Salesforce. And here we have step. So just like we had completed this step, you can see here, and this information we already have. And so now let's come to step number 2, that external credential. So for that we have to type named credential, and since directly we cannot create that named credential, for that we need to first create external credential, and then we can utilize. So let's, I will show you that named credential. And if you can see here, so already it's created that external credential, that's why it's displaying here, and that's why. So first we need to create that external credential, and then we can utilize a named credential. So that is step number 2. So you see here, click new, and that external credential we have already, and that name and all those things we can put the same here, since already I have created. So I'm not going to create again. So similar like that we can do, and that here we can select basic authentication and click save here. So since already I created, and I can show you, this is the external credential already we have created. So once we create external credential, then we can add that principal to external credential. For that, what we have to do here, the same page, that external credential, and if you scroll down here, and you can see that principals, and these principals you can click new, and here you can give that parameter name whatever you want to give. So something I'm giving here, this is the parameter name, and that sequence, since already one principal already we have created, so that's why automatically it's come like 2. So but we are creating first time, then it should come only 1. So and identity type, we have named principal, we can select, and that username and password we can utilize. So already we have discussed, right, that account is id and auth token. So that same we can mention here, that username and that password. So something like that username is the account is id here, and that password we can put the same here, copy and paste here, and we can save. So once we save, so already I have created, if you see here, that same principle here already I have created, and so now I think the third step is completed now, and we now we have fourth step, and that fourth step we can create permission set, and that we can give that name permission set name, and let's create that permission set. So here I can create permission set here, and we can type here permission set and click here, and if you click here new, and that we can give that name and all those information and the same, so something, and we are not going to anything change, and now we can click save here. So if you see, already I have created that permission set, and if you see here, this is the permission set, and once we create permission set, then we can scroll down here, and we can see here external credential principal access here, and that click external credential principal access here, and we can edit here, and that add. So since already it's added, but in your case it's first time, then we can add here this, and then click save. Once we have completed this step, so we can assign that user as well. So here we can click manage assignment, and since already I assigned, so you can assign as well which user you want. So similar like this user and that next and that assign. So already I have assigned, so I'm not going to assign again. You can see here. So this is the step number 4, and these all it's completed these steps. And now step number 5th, we have named credential. So basically we are going to create named credential here, and here is the named credential, and click new, and that we can give that name, label name and all those things. So you can give the same name or any other name. So let's create named credential here, similar like that. And URL, you can give this URL and all the information here, and this is the URL you can give. External credential, as we have already created this, we can select, and remaining we can keep the same and save here. So the same name here can be, and you can click the save here. So since already I have created this named credential, so I'm not going to create again. So these steps, very easy steps. We have step number 6, and that is the flow. So let's create flow. So we can search here flow, and if you click here flow, you can create new flow. So basically we are not going to use Apex for making call out, so we are using that flow. So and in flow we are using record trigger flow. So let's create record trigger flow, and a record is created because, so let's select here case for object first of all, because we are going to create case, and that case is created, that this is the optional, that entry condition. So we are leaving blank as of now, and action and related record, and we can enable add asynchronous path, and now save. And that flow label we can give here that any name. So let's give any name here, description and all those things, so we can keep blank. Now save. And so start statement is not connected, so that's why is that getting error. So we will handle this error later. So let's create first of all. So actually what we are doing here is, so this flow is now done. So what we are doing here is, so we have two methods, and that if you add action here, so you can see here that create http callout. So basically we have two methods here. So you can see here, so actually the native http callout, the native http callout we have, and basically it's directly created inside flow using create http callout, which we are talk about this create http callout. First of all I'll show you, so where we have that external service. So I will show you. Let's search. So you can see here external services, and now click. So if you see now we like it's blank since we are not created using create HTTP callout, but I have a screenshot where I created using this create HTTP callout, and basically it's like whatever we can give name and all those things, and that that same thing here you can see that screenshot. So basically here we are giving manually like request body, you can see here request body and description and content and application slash JSON. So basically that request body it's accept only JSON format. Okay. So we but the Twilio application won't accept JSON format, that request body. So that's the issue. So we cannot use this native HTTP callout. So you can try yourself as well, and if any issue, then you can ping me. I can answer those questions. So this method is not work for Twilio application. For this application, it won't accept. So that's why I'm going to second method, that external services by Open API schema, and basically this is the that containing application slash www form URL encoded. So basically this format only accepted by Twilio application. So we have, you can see here Open API schema. So we have file here, and I can copy this file and directly I can paste. But before that I can show you, if you see a request body, and that request body we have application and that form URL encoded. But in case our uh, this you can see here that application slash JSON. So that's why we are not able to use in Twilio application. That's why we are using that this format, that form URL encoded. So let's copy and then see. So I will show you how to use this schema file. Let's copy this one and let's paste here. So if you see here external services, add an external services, and I want from API specification, I want this method and that external services name. So you can give any name. Let's check whether we have any name external services. So let's give this name, and then we can copy again. The description also we can give same or something else can give. Here we can give complete schema, and we can select named credential what we recently created, named credential, and that schema we can copy again here, and then we can use this schema completely. So basically this schema is act as a action. So I'll show you how it's work. So now I'm pasting the same thing here, and so now I can give, so now I can give this name, and that service schema I selected complete schema, and I paste here, and now I save and next. And here we can see that next we can select this operation, because if we have multiple operations, so we can select which one we require that current operation. So that's why that my current operation is this external services. So now click next, and everything is fine. Now I think it's fine, and you can see here that in body we that apex class we can see at the end in body. So we will select in next step. Now we click it finish. So it's fine. Now come to flow, and we will see how it's work. So let's remove this page and come to this flow. So here is that flow, and we can check this flow, and if you see that run asynchronous. So first of all we can add that action. So let's go to that action here, and in action that we have external services, and if you see here external services what we created here, so we can select this external services, and that we can give that name. So we can give any name here, so let's give any name, something we can give that name. So let's give any name here. I can give, so let's give any name here. Let's something you can give that name, and account SID. So let's give account SID from here, and save here. New resource, and variable, that API name, something WhatsApp, variable, resource can give here, data type, that apex defined we can select, and here. So you remember while creating this external services we have in body at the end. So I will select those whatever we created here, and let's create here. So here you can see here in body and out 200. So we will select in body and done. That we have already created. So let's save. So now we are going to create that assignment. So let's give any assignment name. So that assignment name, let's give any name here. Any name we can give here, and that variable. So this is the very important part, and you have to take care. So since if you talk about this Twilio action, so in body we cannot add body to from, so those parameter we cannot directly give. So that's why we are using that assignment, and in assignment we can select here that. So if you see here, define variable, and we can select like 2, and again we can add another one. So we can select here apex define variable and from, and third one is body. So let's select that body as well, and that body, and all equals. And here if you see here that assignment, so if you are creating 2, so like this is the value, and I'm not going to give this, I'm going to directly give that hard coding. So since we are going to test, so I'm going to give that value. And if you check about that 2, so let's give that 2 direct, that same format here, I think it's fine. And from that same we can give here that same number. And if you talk about where we get this number, so this is the same number where we set up, and that same we can give here. And body we can select here body as well. So this is the body we can give. And I think it's fine. Now we can click save. Now I think everything is fine, and this is the assignment, and I think everything is fine. This is the assignment and this is the action. And now let's activate. It's looking everything is fine. So let's create new case and check whether it's working or not. And let's fill the mandatory field here, and then we can check whether it's working or not, and that we should give that valid WhatsApp phone number. So let's save. Wow, super. So here you can see that this case is created, and you can see here that case number is matching, and the same case number we just now we created. So it's working fine. So thank you very much all of you.